To test out this new Luna Ultra 8K that I got into review, I figured I'll just walk downtown, get a matcha at my local coffee shop, and then maybe go for a bike ride. And then I stopped for a second and I thought, let's go to Scandinavia. Welcome to Ålesund, Norway. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. I've used this camera every day for the 3 weeks, multiple times a day, multiple subjects. Obviously right now I'm doing stuff with face tracking and vlogging, which I completely hate to do, so I'm really self-conscious right now. We've been in Copenhagen, we've been in the Lego house, we've been in the fjords. We had a beautiful hotel right on the fjords, probably the highlight of my trip. It's just been a beautiful trip, and I've done almost no video capture on my phone. I've mostly been doing this just so I could test it out, and I really like this camera a lot. There's some things that I really like about this camera, there's some things that I'm about this camera, and there's some things that I just can't stand. So some of the things that I really like is I like that it has 8K. One of the strange things about that is if you switch into 8K and then you turn off the camera and turn it back on, it goes back to 4K and then you have to choose 8K, but this is not a huge issue. The zoom on this is fantastic. It's a 12 times zoom in 4K. It's a 3 times zoom in 8K. It's really nice having this dual lens system. I think that is great. Then you can do things like panorama. You can upload to their app, which is a very, very good app. I really also like the face tracking, so I could go like this or like this, and the camera is going to try to keep up with me. I have the panning set to low right now, so it's not going to quite snap around as if I had it in like a fast sports mode. One of the big problems I have with all of these cameras, the DJI Osmo Pocket, this camera, is that the interface on these screens is really sometimes difficult to use. It's not always clear what buttons you have to press. For example, I was out here shooting these gannets up on a cliff. I was shooting an 8K and it kept trying to do deep tracking, which is this thing I just showed you where it tries to keep my head in focus. But when you're filming gannets, there are no heads or faces for you to track, which means that what I kept getting was the camera not panning because it was trying to lock on a bird on a mountain and it couldn't find the face. The thing that I do like, but also have a little bit of issue with, is this remote controller. So you can pop the remote controller off, you can turn the gimbal around. And so this is me controlling the gimbal using this little thing right here. But the main reason that I'm using it right now is because the really good microphone is on the, if you're holding the controls on the far side of the camera, which means that you really kind of need this little remote control in order to do selfie vlogging, but also have the really good microphone pointed towards you. You can also use this little microphone built into the controller, but I've always had a problem with devices like this that have a pop-off screen. There's one pro level gimbal I have. It has a detachable screen. The detachable screen like this has its own battery, and I have run out of battery power on the screen on that system, and I will run out of battery power on this at some point. These are for like maybe a half an hour yesterday, and the battery has already dropped like a quarter, which isn't the worst thing, especially because I was shooting 8K with it a lot. Like these pictures here are all 8K pictures. The battery does seem to go down more when you're shooting 8K, which, you know, it's to be expected. The image quality, which is really all that matters on this, is very good. This would be a fantastic device to use for vlogging if you liked sitting here looking at yourself, feeling self-conscious while people around you are looking at you. There's things that are easy to use. I can flip the screen around right there, and now you're looking. Control for the zoom is easy to use. You just push the button and it will zoom in on me. Let's not get that close. Oh God, that is really bad. All right, let me zoom out of me. Nobody needs to see me that close. There's also this little extra thing that clips onto the bottom of the unit, and it clips on. It also puts a little tripod mount at the bottom. One of the other big issues for me is that you currently can't plug it into a computer and use it for a webcam or a live streaming cam, which is a huge miss to me. Now, their other cameras have that ability. They have the Link camera, which is a webcam, and obviously as a webcam it can do that. Also the Ace 2 Pro, which I have, can do that. It can be a webcam or a live streaming camera. The fact that you can't use this device, at least as of right now, as a webcam or streaming cam just seems crazy to me, partially because the sensor in this seems so much better than the sensor in their webcam. That has to be fixed, like 100% right away. I'm hoping that they do that in firmware. The DJI Osmo Pocket can do that with no problem whatsoever. That's a feature I need right away because I do tutorial videos where I want to have a really good camera pointed at me, and this is not going to be that. Another great thing about this is that it will pair automatically with the wireless microphones from Insta360, and those are fantastic microphones. I'll be back in my office in a couple days. I will give you my thoughts there, but the other things that I noticed that are pros and cons with this. There's something that I'm not quite remembering doing. There's another big thing that this camera has going for it over the DJI Osmo Pocket 4, which is you can't buy the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 in the United States. That's because our government has decided that DJI is spying on us, but companies like Insta360 are not spying us. I don't know. So if you want a DJI Osmo Pocket 4 and you live in the United States, you're gonna fly somewhere else and pick one of them up, and then when you come back into the country, you are breaking federal law. Luckily, the camera that these guys made, I think, is in every way as good as the DJI Osmo Pocket 4, which I have played with when I've been out of the country, and it is definitely better than the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 in terms of image quality, in terms of the fact that it has a removable screen that you can use as both a controller, and you can use the microphone on here. So if I wanted to do that, I could do the really dumb way that all YouTubers talk into their little teeny microphones, which, I don't know, man, boggles my mind that you can take like a clip-on microphone and just hold it like this. When it comes to the features, this is by far the best pocket vlogging camera. The image quality is fantastic. It does both 4K and 8K. It has a fantastic microphone built in. It has a little remote controller, so when you have the microphone facing towards you, you can make sure that the best microphone is the one that you are looking at. But that's also one of the downsides. The best microphone is pointing forward away from you when you're vlogging, and this is a vlogging camera, so I 100% would have preferred if the good microphone were pointing towards me. That is the reason that I am vlogging, because I want you to hear me. Should you buy the Luna 8K Ultra? Yes, if you are looking for a fantastic handheld system that has great image quality, great sound, and is compatible with their fantastic microphones. It's a fantastic camera, and I absolutely recommend it. Again, this has not been sponsored. They have not paid me a dime to do this. I asked them to send me this camera, and I am completely enjoying it. This is Dave Tries This. I'm David, and thank you so much for coming along on vacation with me.